already made a decision on the Ruaraka land. In their three-judge bench decision in June last year, the court was clear at paragraph 176 that we therefore find, the court was clear at paragraph 176 that, and I quote, we therefore find that the compulsory acquisition of the land on which the two schools sit did not meet the threshold of public purpose and should not have been undertaken in the first place. One cannot purport to compulsorily acquire what is already public land. Taxpayers lost Kenya shillings 1.5 billion in the fraudulent accusation of a part of the land RL number 7879/4, yet 1 year, 4 months, and 25 days since the decision, the investigators at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, and the DPP have chosen to cheer on the suspects who clearly engineered the fraud. Fortunately, as Kenyans, we are not powerless on the matter. I have investigated this matter, and the one person who bears the highest responsibility on the outright theft of public land and loss of public money is the Interior CS, Fred Matiang'I. There is no doubt that Matiang'I is a powerful man. He is a CS in charge of the most powerful ministry in the country and the chairman of the National Development Implementation and Communication Government Committee. He also chairs a meeting of colleague cabinet secretaries every Tuesday. Matiang'I also sits in the all-powerful National Security Council. He is a powerful man. But as I said, we are not powerless. But like the president has also always told us, it does not matter what power or rank you hold. You should not use your office to steal from the masses. Matiang'I on this matter did everything right, but his eyes were firmly focused on the public coffers heist. This heist was bigger and effected in movie style, just like money heist. The history in summary is as follows. The purported owners of the land applied to the National Lands Commission, NLC, asking government to acquire the land since there are two schools on the land. NLC then wrote to the Ministry of Education asking if indeed the land had schools on it and if it was private land. And if it was private land, if they could go ahead and acquire the land on behalf of the ministry. The ministry replied through the PS and gave the go-ahead. However, NLC replied and told the PS he had no such powers and that only the CS could write such a letter. CS Matiang'I immediately constituted a quality and standards team to investigate the matter before he could give the authority. The team of dedicated public servants investigated the matter and wrote a report telling the CS he should not pay for the land, since they had acquired documents and authoritative information that it was public land. CS Matiang'I then ignored the report and went ahead and gave the authority to acquire the land, setting in motion the theft of taxpayers' money. When investigators completed their jobs and were ready to make arrests on the matter, NLC, through their former chairman, Mohamed Sozuri, moved to court under a jurisdiction called reference. And the court observed many things, among them that the land was public and the payment was fraudulent. So, ladies and gentlemen and fellow Kenyans, since this decision still remains active and has never been stayed, why would EACC and DPP just sit back and let outright thieves of our money make decisions on our public money as chairman of cabinet secretaries? It is this utadu attitude that informs why I'm moving to court to go ahead and charge CS Matiang'I on this matter. Tomorrow morning, at the Anti-Corruption Court, I'll be asking the court to immediately allow me to personally prosecute CS Matiang'I. Why CS Matiang'I, you may ask? Because he bears the highest responsibility. And unlike the DPP, I am using personal resources from my pig and avocado farm. I am a man of little resources. I cannot therefore prosecute all the thieves in this matter. But the one thief who was a super mastermind, I will take on him. I will be circulating to you a copy of the charge sheet with 4 counts of abuse of power and other anti-corruption crimes that I intend to charge CS Matiang'I on. At this moment, it is good to inform you that I have received At this moment, I would want to inform you that I have received confirmation from Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko that he would testify on this matter to prove that it was actually public land. Kikuyu MP Kimani Ichung'wah has also confirmed that he will testify as chair of budget that the Ministry of Education approached Parliament to allocate 1.5 billion on this matter. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to finally say this. In the case of Brian Nyong'o versus the DCI, the court ruled when police have condensed their evidence, which they hold sufficient for a prosecution, but DPP fails to take up the prosecution, the law provides that private prosecution shall follow. And that was Justice Ngenye Macharia. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have to say. For the charge sheet, I'm going to circulate to you, then you're going to be able to see what exactly the charge sheet says. But just for the record, just 1 minute, I'm trying to pull it off. I have attached, I'm going to court with 193 pages of evidence to show how this crime was effected. Both there is documents and there is audio in different places, including the meetings that were held. So just to go on record, the first charge I am going to be taking on Matiang'I is on abuse of power. Abuse of office, contrary to section 46, as led with section 48.1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. Then count number 2 is willful failure to comply with the law and applicable procedure and guidelines relating to the management of public funds. Count number 3, committing an offense or financial misconduct contrary to section 197.1 of the Public Finance Management Act. And finally, a conspiracy to defraud contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code, Cap 63 of the laws of Kenya. That is all, ladies and gentlemen, unless you have questions.
Any questions?
Yes, the question of why now. The law provides for a private prosecutor to go to court so that not everyone is going to court to do this thing. The law provides that you allow the EACC, the police, and the DPP to do the investigations. I think since this was effected in 2017 and the investigation started in 2018, we have given DPP and EACC sufficient time. And now it is time for us to ask the questions directly in court. Let me also say this. If the court allows us to go on with the private prosecution, we are going to call you again because there is a ruling by Justice Mombingoge on public servants who are charged in court. I'm sure I don't need to say more than that. You can go and check.